My name is Marilyn, and I am a hopeless romantic. I love the idea of love. But because my love life is like non-existent, I live vicariously through TV shows and movies that portray love. And so the television show that I'm obsessed with, that I want you to become obsessed with if you are not already obsessed with, is Love Is. If you've never heard of Love Is, or you've watched an episode or two but you were like, then keep watching, because I'm gonna break it down for you real quick while I drink my milkshake. I got notes, y'all, because I wanted to make sure I did this correct. Okay, so Love Is a television show that aired in June on the OWN network. If you've been living under a rock, the OWN network is the Oprah Winfrey network. Okay? And it was created by Mara Brock-Akil, who is well known for executive producing shows such as Girlfriends, The Game, Being Mary Jane, Black Lightning, and she does all of these works in collaboration with her husband, Salim Akil. And I'm trash, and y'all know this, but there have been 5 episodes since the show premiered, and I didn't realize that maybe I should have started reviewing these episodes but if y'all want me to do episode reviews, I have no problem going back and rewatching the episodes, because here's a secret. I secretly have watched each of the 5 episodes at least 3 times. So like I could watch them again. It's really not a problem. Okay. So the show is centered around, and it is loosely based on the love story of Mara Brock-Akil and Salim Akil. The main characters are Nuri and Yasir, and Nuri is played by Michelle Weaver, and Yasir is played by Will Catlett. The first time I've ever seen the first time I saw Will Catlett was on the TV show Black Lightning, and he played the character Lala Latavius, and I was like, he's really handsome. I thought I had never saw Michelle Weaver until Love Is, but then she did a movie called Sister Code with like Amber Rose, and she was in that. I don't remember her. I saw that movie. It was on like Netflix, but I don't remember her at all. So let's talk about Nuri. Nuri is a young 30-something writer, and when we first meet her in the coffee shop, it is because Sean, who is Yasir's best friend, has basically been stalking this woman, and he really wants to talk to her, but he doesn't have the nerve to speak to her. And at that time, she's not working as a writer. She is a writer, but she's not getting paid for what she does. The year later that we meet her again, she's employed, she's cut her hair, and she's now a show writer for this fictional show called Marvin. In that year, since we first meet her, physically she's changed. She's also got a job, she's got a house, she's got a car. She's living this very independent single woman life. She has several male suitors, and she seems to be okay. Then we get Yasir. When we first meet Yasir, he helped his friend, who I'm guessing is Sean, move to LA. He's from the Bay Area, but he stays, and he also is a writer. But in that year's time, his life kind of shifts gears drastically. So he's not working, he has no place to live. He's living with his girlfriend, who soon becomes his ex-girlfriend, but his roommate, girl. And all of basically his life, he has nothing. So while financially he's low, he knows who he is as a person, and that's really cool to see. Nuri and Yasir meet at the coffee shop a year prior. They exchange names. The following year, he sees her again. He goes up to her. He says, hey, we met once before. Here's my contact information. And basically, that's how their courtship ensues. And so the setting of their love story is the coffee shop, Insomnia Coffee Shop. And it is where the two of them tell each other that they love each other after only knowing each other like a day or two. And in the moment when they tell each other that they love each other, I just sat on my couch and I was just like, oh my God, what? Now, the cool thing about the show is basically happening in the now, because we have an older Yasir and an older Nuri who are telling about their love story to someone on camera, and then we get to go back and see them as their younger selves. So we're getting to see Nuri and Yasir when they first meet until now when they're happily married and they're successful and all these things. A couple of reasons why I really love this show, and I'm trying not to give too much away because I want y'all to watch it. But why I'm hooked, number one, like I said, I'm Marilyn and I'm a hopeless romantic. I also really enjoy seeing Black love portrayed in a very positive, realistic way. And even though at times they have hardships and they get in arguments and things come to the forefront of their relationship, it is still pretty positive. Nobody's throwing furniture, nobody's throwing drinks at nobody. It's just a real story. I also feel very connected to Nuri as a character because she's a young 30-something, and I'll be 30 this month. At the end of this month, I'll be 30. She's very independent. She's got her own, and yet she still has all these suitors. Now, I don't have all these suitors, but she has all these suitors because she's trying to find someone to fill in that void, and she has one particular guy for each one of her particular needs or something that he can offer her. And at the end of it, when she meets the guy who has all of the things, it's like, oh, this is what I was missing all along. And I'm very much like her in I want somebody to have these particular characteristics, but this show is really knocking down and making me check myself for the things that I want. I also love this show because it is paying tribute to the 90s. It is set in the 90s, like 96, 97, and at that time I was 8. So Tommy Hilfiger is really big. The clothing is 90s, the cars are 90s, the houses are the 90s, the language is the 90s, the music is the 90s, baby. Oh my God. Love songs of the 90s? Oh, they did very good work with their music choices. I love the love between multiple characters. So not just Nuri and Yasir, but Nuri and Angela, which is her coworker and her best friend. Yasir and Sean, which is his best friend. Nuri and her mother. Yasir and Ruby. You gotta learn about that. I like all these loving relationships that have a purpose at some point or another. And it's just, again, it's very refreshing to see this love story for these two very talented creators, Mara Brock-Akil and Salim Akil. So I really, really, really want y'all to watch it and get obsessed with it. Like I'm obsessed with it. And honest to God, if y'all want me to do reviews, I will go back and I will do that. You can catch this show every Tuesday on OWN at 10 p.m. This is not sponsored, baby, by any means. I wish it was, but it is not. But this is just how much I really enjoy this show. So I really want y'all to check it out. Even if you're single, married, dating, whatever, you should be able to find a part of yourself in here somewhere. And then I want to know, do you agree with everything that's going on between the two of them? What are some things where you like, Nuri girl, get your life? What are some parts where you like, Yasir, you are really dropping the ball? So yes, please watch the show. And if nothing else, just enjoy being back in the 90s when life was a little bit simpler than it is now. So until next time, guys, I will talk to you later. And I'm actually just going to go watch episode 5 for the 5th time. Don't judge me, judge your mother.